and welcome along to the Invincible podcast. We got a very special show to you today. Not only are we going to be discussing the upcoming North London derby, which is going to be absolutely huge this weekend, we've also got a very special guest in the studio. Massive reggae artist. He's been smashing it for years out there, and he's got a brand new book that we're going to be discussing later on. And on top of that, he's a huge Arsenal fan. Once made actually a song for Arsenal, right, when Arsenal reached the FA Cup final. We got Tippa Irie in the building. Big up.
Shouting for the Gunners, Rob.
Shouting for the Gunners.
92, 93, cup double. Lee reminded me.
Yeah.
So there you
Is
go.
that how long ago it was?
It's that long ago. We won the League Cup, we won the FA Cup. Did a video with Ian Wright, Tony Adams, all the boys. It was fun.
Cup final song.
Cup final. Yeah, it was a cup final song.
Traditional, weren't they?
Yeah,
like that song.
Yeah, because you remember they used to make songs for the...
Yeah, it was. Listen, Rob, George Graham, man, I'll never forgive him because we would have got on top of the pops, yeah, and they wanted us to go on top of the pops, and George Graham wouldn't let the team go on top of the pops. If we went on top of the pops, it would have went up the pop charts. You know what I'm saying? But he wouldn't let them go on. But it still did well. It got,
I remember
it got
man.
top 40. But yeah, it didn't quite.
I remember it's you and Peter Honeygate. I remember you both in it. I remember you give me a copy of it and say, we'll be back. I go, what? For Arsenal?
Yeah,
that was brilliant.
Yeah.
Check it out. It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
So shouting
for the Gunners.
Yeah,
I know and you know we're shouting for the Gunners.
I know and you know gonna win the cup.
I say I quite like that song.
A little catchy number.
Little tune.
Not my normal thing. You know what I mean? A bit lightweight for me, but you know, it's Arsenal and we love this club. So
and I know you've got a massive love for Arsenal. We're going to talk about that today, as well as talking about your brand new book, Stick to My Roots, which is out, and this is a brilliant book which everyone's got to get. So we're going to discuss that later on as well. And you got a book, Lee?
No, he's letting you go already, Lee.
I can imagine your book was scandal laden. You know what I mean?
You've got a book. He's on Sky Sports. You've got a book.
Scandal laden book coming up. I'd love to read a book on you.
I'll say right. Maybe there will be a few skeletons in the cupboard. You never know. One day.
One day, man. One day, of course, man. Listen, the show today is brought to you by NordVPN. NordVPN keeps you safe from malware and threat protection by scanning files whilst downloaded, and warns you about potentially dangerous websites. This is what Mikel Arteta needs to be using this season to keep his tactics safe and sound. Also, it's the sort of thing that we'll be using when we're going abroad, and we're off to Lens in a couple of weeks' time to watch Arsenal in the Champions League, right? So head over to NordVPN right now. It's free with their brilliant 2-year plan. It's risk-free with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. And thanks for NordVPN for powering this video. It really is a good thing to have. Do you use VPNs when you're abroad? You're always on tour?
Yeah, occasionally, but not that much. You should
get this one. Because like when you're on tour, for instance, and you're doing your thing, if you want to watch any of the sort of English programs that are maybe geo-blocked, your NordVPN will now allow you to watch that. So you watch all the football, you can watch all those things.
Okay, well, I'll have to check it out.
It's the best thing. I've got to say it every time. When you're in a hotel and you have that boring hour or something, you can put on Match of the Day. I don't know, Coronation Street,
Coronation
Street. Spurs fans are watching that at the moment, you know what I mean? So, they're all sort of getting back into EastEnders and Coronation Street, so. I don't know why.
They've got nothing to do on a Tuesday and Wednesday night, have they?
In fact, I met Rudolph. You know, the guy from EastEnders. I met him. A friend of mine, Lorna G. She's got a one-woman theatre show. In Brixton, and I actually met Rudolph. He was down there. She invited a lot of celebrities to come down and watch the show, and he was there, so I managed to get a picture with him. He's a nice man.
Very nice man.
EastEnders
very nice man.
crew.
Yeah.
Well, listen, enough of the EastEnders right now, because that's like
we need to talk about football.
Yeah, like Lee said, that's for the Tottenham fans. That's all they got to watch on a Tuesday and Wednesday night now. But for Arsenal, it was great for Arsenal to be back in the Champions League, guys. When the Champions League music played, I mean, I couldn't believe it. It was in the ground, right? And the cheer that got, you know, when they got the banner and they're, you know, sort of wiggling it in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah.
I mean, the cheers that got from the fans was absolutely amazing. And you could see that the fans were up for that game, and you could see the players were up for that game. It was a great atmosphere in the stadium, and the players, they put on a performance lead, 4-0.
I was putting a show. I'll tell you one of the things that it's sort of like sitting here yesterday, and I've sort of reflected on it yesterday as well, was the journey over the last 6-7 years, and it's been tough. There's been some real tough moments in that, and it all come to fruit again, back to how it was, you know, with that music going. And
well, I
then
mean, it's been depressingly, because we ain't been in it, you know what I mean? And in Arsene Wenger years, we used to just take it for granted.
Yeah, 100%.
We take it for granted every year that we'd be in there, and we took it all for granted. And now, after 6 years or so of not being in there, and now we're finally back in. And the way they dealt with it, you know, I think the PSV, they weren't watching any of the Premier League game because they left Saka. They give him license.
That's a great point. It's the first time that no one's really doubled up on him.
Yeah.
And
that's crazy.
They paid the price, didn't they? They paid the price.
Yeah, I saw that last night. I think, you know what, they ain't been watching on a Premier League game because you lot supposed to be doubling up on Saka. Now that you've given him, thank you, by the way, but you've given him that license to roam, he's just he's unplayable.
Special player.
Do you know what the thing is about that game? I was thinking about, I was like, it's the first team this season that's actually come to the Emirates and tried to play.
Yes.
Yeah, if you think about it, like Nottingham Forest came, everybody behind the ball.
Yeah.
Trying to catch on the counter-attack. So did Fulham, you know, right? Even though they got especially when they got that early goal, Fulham, they were just like, right, you can't blame them for it. They're like, we're going to sit and catch you on the counter. And so did Manchester United.
Yeah.
Manchester United were very, very deep, just trying to catch Arsenal on the counter-attack, whereas PSV came and they tried to play. They were like, right now, we're going to stick it on you.
Yeah. And that big mistake.
Yeah, I mean, there's only two teams that have tried to do that this season, PSV and Man City. In a Community Shield. Everybody else has deployed a low block against Arsenal.
They're sitting, and we got to try and break them down.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like even in the Everton game, it took a while, a good while, but then, you know, nice little slick move, you know, edge of the box, and Trossard scored. So, you know, but these lot came out last night to play, and then came unstuck.
It's a great point. You know, like the Everton game was a bit of class, wasn't it? You know, fantastic goal was class.
Really.
And last night, there was some, I've got to say, some classy goals, some classy performances as well. You know, a couple of those goals, you know, I mean, I'm actually in the stadium thinking, wow.
No. You know, the team, you can see the improvement in the team. You can see, you know, what he's instilled in them. You know, sometimes I still have a little jewelry about Arteta and his man management and how he manages the players. But until it's going wrong, you can't really say anything.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm with you on that, because, you know, obviously the Aaron Ramsdale thing was a little bit, you know, I'm a little bit, I'm still, not sure of it.
Well, for me, just quickly, it's like Kai Havertz, Eddie Nketiah, Balogun, or Pepe. You know, I mean, for me, I would have Pepe and Balogun over Kai Havertz and Eddie Nketiah. That's just my opinion. But I just still think I'm not sure about his man management. Even Smith Rowe. Yeah,
and do you know what though? And I'm with you on that. And I thought I'm going to have a look at Arteta quite a lot yesterday. And he's very abrupt sometimes with his tactics and all that. But after the game, I was watching him. I thought, I'll have a little watch it and the reaction with the players. And things like, very, very loving towards the players, and the players very receptive to it as well. Okay. Like, do you know what I mean? So I think he has got that ruthless streak, but there's also, I think there is that I'll take care of you as well. Like maybe that you don't see what goes on behind the scenes, because I watched him yesterday, you know, like Declan Rice giving him a colour, even the players that are not playing and weren't in the team, like, you know, there's a bond between the players and him, and I thought that was quite thing. I don't know how the Aaron Ramsdale thing's going to go, I'll be really honest, you know, but I've got to say that, you know, Raya yesterday, I have to say he's excellent.
He's excellent.
Excellent.
Do you think with when Raya's playing, right?
Yeah.
Even though really and truly, let's be real, so far he had nothing to do.
No.
He had nothing to do in the Everton game.
No.
Right? He had nothing to do in the PSV game,
yeah.
right? But he does seem to bring a real calmness at the back in it. He does look calm in it.
He does, Rob.
And I was also saying to Julian, I was sat next to Julian last night, and I'm saying to Julian, I'm going, do you notice players are very careful how to press him because they know he's so good with the ball at his feet. So, you know what I mean? They don't want to press too much and get caught out of position sort of thing because they know he's very skillful
Rob,
that way. So
no matter how we look at it, Mikel Arteta's job is to get results. And if he feels that Raya is going to get him to where he needs to get, he's going to pick him.
Yeah.
You know, and no matter how well Ramsdale has done, if he thinks that he's the man that's going to bring that, because in the 2 games, he has looked very calm. There's not been that many, I mean, I don't know if is it the fact that they haven't had much to do, but there's not been that many mistakes because of that calmness, what's back there.
Yeah.
Brilliant point. And you have to look at it and say that Forest didn't have a lot against us, and nor did Fulham, but we conceded goals. We haven't conceded a goal since he's been in goal. And to be honest, as I thought PSV did look dangerous at times, they never looked like scoring, did they?
No,
I thought we was comfortable in the game. I'm not saying that's just down to the goalkeeper, like, you know. I was pleased when Raya kicked one out straight away, like I thought, like, you know what I mean, you ain't impeccable, you know what I mean, like, you know. But I have to say, I sat there, the ball was coming across on a couple of, I felt confident, and
he's very good at claiming the ball, isn't he?
And it seemed like his positional play was very, very good because he didn't have to make. So every time the ball came into him, it was comfortable. So his positioning very, very good. I don't know. I just have to say, you know, at least whether I don't agree with the decision, but at the end of the day, you know, you've got to back the manager.
We've got 2 good goalkeepers, and the other thing about Arsenal, right, as well, you know, that's part of the squad depth. But the squad depth in the forward areas is looking good. I mean, you know, Martinelli, who we all love, is one of our main players in this football team, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you see the fact that at the moment we're not missing Martinelli because Trossard now, that's 2 games he's played and 2 great goals. And again, another great goal against PSV. He also had an assist in that game as well. You know, he had the assist for Jesus' goal. He's a quality player, isn't he? I mean, I said this the other day, right? That when he was at Brighton, I used to think, good player. But I didn't realise how good.
No, he's good. He's good.
Top draw,
isn't he? We've not
isn't he?
missed Martinelli since he's come in.
Yeah.
And that just says it all.
Yeah.
And he is a top player. And we've got Smith Rowe, we've got Trossard, we've got Martinelli, we've got Saka, we've got Jesus, you've got Eddie as backup. You know, up front, we're looking all right.
Squad's good.
And
even you know, you think about it, right? This time last year, let's say he was in the Champions League last year.
Yeah.
Right? And going into that game against PSV, I said to you, Lee, I'll go, Partey's out for 6 weeks.
And Martinelli.
And Martinelli, and Martinelli, because we haven't got Trossard then.
Yeah.
We'd be having kittens, wouldn't we? We'd be like,
that's
oh my God, no, especially the Partey one, we'd be like, oh no.
But he's very injury prone, isn't he?
Yeah, but now Declan Rice is there. He can do that, you know what I mean? So we're not miss Partey and we didn't miss Martinelli.
That's the biggest compliment you can give at this moment to Declan Rice.
Yeah.
Is that, you know,
we've not missed him.
We've not missed Partey. Like, we was counting down the days, you know what I mean? Like, I remember when he was in the African nations, I'm hoping, you know, no disrespect to the Ghana supporters, I want them out, you know what I mean? Like, because I wanted him back as quickly as possible. But now you're not so worried about it, and you know, so that's a compliment to, you know, that's what we've had to do with Declan Rice. But you know, it's the thing with Trossard as well, like, you know, I mean, I would have been devastated if Martinelli was out, like, you know, how long is he back and whatever, like, but you're dead right, we've not missed those 2 games.
And you can't forget Reece Nelson as well.
Comes on and does a job.
You know,
the substitute.
He's a good player.
And the other thing I've got to say, this is what we've been able to do is that we played Eddie on Sunday at Everton, which is a difficult game. We was able to rest Jesus for that game so that he can play the next 2 games. So you have to give Eddie the credit that we're able to do that and go, all right, well, it's Eddie up front today. Okay, well, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we can do without that. Because when you see Jesus yesterday and play like that, oh my
he looked
God.
good.
He just don't give them no rest. He don't give them no rest. He's always active. And he's always putting, pressure on the central defenders.
Yeah.
So, he don't
Sets
give
the time, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Did you see that little movie he did, right, where he went like he was going to shoot but dummied?
And then shot.
Then shot.
In the box, that is, Rob. That's
in the box. If that had gone in.
But even the goal, even the way he took the goal, the first touch, he set it with the first touch and bang.
Yeah.
If you ever look, when he does that little move, have a look. If you get back on scene, have a look at the defender who just gives up. He just gives up. He's gone. Oh my God, I'm embarrassed.
We're talking about quality of the team at the moment, right? Let me just remind you. I saw this yesterday, right? And you guys may have seen this going around. The team that played in March 2017, the last time we was in the Champions League against Bayern Munich, we played, right, when we got beat 5-1, right? Ospina in goal. Hector Bellerin, Mustafi, Koscielny, Nacho Monreal, Ramsey, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Granit Xhaka. That was Granit Xhaka just first come. And then up front, Walcott, Giroud, and Alexis Sanchez. Now, you compare that team. I mean, Alexis Sanchez was a baller, by the way.
Definitely.
You compare that team to the team that played yesterday. I think the team that played yesterday is way better.
Oh, 100%.
Way better. When especially at the back,
Especially
in terms of quality, you got like now a back four of Ben White, who I thought was brilliant in the game. Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, another player who was very good in the game.
But none of that back four is getting in that back four.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
None of them.
Ospina wouldn't be in goal. We got two quality goalkeepers. By the way, I still like Ospina, but we got two quality keepers now. Ospina wouldn't get in front of those two.
No way, nowhere near.
Right, and then in the midfield now, Oxlade-Chamberlain wouldn't get in.
Nope.
Xhaka, that was early Xhaka when he just arrived, not the Xhaka that looked right.
Yeah.
Where he was very poor. And Ramsey was coming towards the end of he was. We know Ramsey was quality, but it was just the injuries, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was doing it.
I think
Ramsey might have got in.
I think Ramsey would have got a prime Ramsey would have get it.
Walcott wouldn't get in, would he?
Not over Saka, no.
Giroud wouldn't get in.
No, there'd be squad players, wouldn't they? They would get into the squad, but like they would.
Alexis Sanchez would though.
He would get in.
He'd get in, wouldn't he? Alexis Sanchez.
When he was first Prime Sanchez. He'd get in.
All right, so out of that team, the only two players you think that will get into this team will be a prime Ramsey and a prime Sanchez.
And a prime Xhaka. I think Xhaka was fantastic. Last season, would get into it.
Yeah. So 3 players out of that 11. And that just goes to show you the quality of the team that we have at the moment. Does that fill you with a lot of, expectations going forward in the Champions League? No one's saying we're going to win it. We're newbies kind of back in it now, right? But do you look on it and say to yourself, do you know what? I think that this Arsenal team, with a little bit of luck this year, we can go quite far because we have a good quality side.
I do, and I know we can say about things like that, but two things for me to say. One, I think that we're a young squad, so that there's a little bit of like unknown to it, like so the pressure of winning the Champions League won't be there, like so like a little bit like Ajax did a few years ago. Like I think that they're there to enjoy it so much, not the pressure of we've got to win it, we're here to enjoy it, and I think that can take you so far and all that. And the thing is, I think over the next 2 or 3 years, in my opinion, if this team stays together, we're going to have an exciting time because they're not only good, but they're going to get better.
Yeah.
So I'm excited with what I see with this Arsenal
and if they come and play like PSV did, then that's going to be better for us because we're a good ball-playing team. So if they come and they're open like that and think that they can come and
I don't think there's going to be many more teams open.
That's going to come. You think they're going to come and low block after watching that?
Yeah, they're going to be looking at that. The other teams in the group, right, will be studying that video and they'll be like, nah, we can't go to, especially at the Emirates. They'll be like, there's no way we can go and be on the front foot like that.
But to answer your question, I think we've got to be optimistic, Rob. We've got to be optimistic because we might not be a Real Madrid or maybe even a Bayern Munich, but we ain't that far behind with this team. And like you said, the squad depth that we have, I think we've got a chance. We've got a chance to go at least semis or something like that, I reckon.
I'm with you on this. I think that we should go with the attitude, let's not just go out there and enjoy it. Let's go for it.
Go for it.
I expect us to go to France in a couple of weeks' time, get some sort of result, and then I expect us to come back at home and beat Seville and the likes. And I expect us to comfortably progress in this group. And then, as I say, at any time, with the players we've got, the way we played up front yesterday, I don't think there's many teams that are going to be able to handle that if we're at our best. I really do. I think, that Jesus' performance yesterday.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of players.
It's different gravy.
He is different. We're just talking about Sanchez and all that, I just fancy. I don't think I've seen a better all-round performance from centre forward for a very, very long time. And I'm talking we're going back to Henry and people like that. The Bergkamps. That was sensational what he done yesterday. If that was Henry playing that game yesterday, you shut your eyes and that was Henry.
Yeah.
It was that good yesterday, like, you know what I mean, of a performance, you know what I mean? His work rate, goal.
The other player who I thought, and this guy is unreal, right? 30 million quid he costs.
Oh,
yeah.
Martin Odegaard.
Odegaard, yeah.
I mean, he is absolute quality. Any time he picks up that ball just outside that box,
his problem. He might go find somebody.
And he's got the accuracy. He always finds that corner. You know what I mean? I'll tell you, he is such a good player. And I was watching him last night, right? Sometimes he was collecting the ball off of the back four.
Yeah.
He's collecting the ball off the back four, starting attacks. Then next minute after that, you'd see him in the 10 position.
Yeah.
Then he was everywhere. I mean, £30 million, guys.
How much would he cost?
No, I'm just about to say that. How much do you think he's worth?
How much? Yeah, but seriously,
It's got to be worth 100 million.
Yeah.
If someone come in for him with 100 million, I don't think I'd sell 100 million.
How old is he? 22?
24,
24, something like that.
I think he's got to be worth 100 million.
But it's like what Lee's saying. We got a young squad, Rob. We got a young squad, and he's a captain. And right at this present moment in time, you ain't gonna find much players in the midfield in the Premier League better than that guy.
15 goals he scored last season.
There you go.
Right?
And that's from midfield.
And that's from midfield. And none of those were like penalties or nothing like that. 15
that's like Lampard level, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he's already started off this season scoring goals again. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He scored in the Premier League. He scored now in the Champions League. Right? He is such a player. It's going to be really interesting. And we're going to come to the matchup with him and Maddison. Right, it's going to be really, really, because Maddison's been playing well for Tottenham, right? But Odegaard, I mean, I feel, and I would say this, but for me, he's a better player.
Why didn't you think Arteta went for Maddison then, rather than Havertz?
The only reason that I think of it is that I don't think Maddison can play up front like Havertz yesterday, you know what I mean? Okay. Because if you look at it with Maddison, I think he's a very good player, by the way, even though he's at Spurs.
Yeah.
I think that the two positions that he can play is probably where he is playing for Spurs at the moment and out wide.
Yeah, which is exactly where Odegaard plays.
Where Odegaard played, but and Havertz can. We need that. Yeah, I thought it was a very good move yesterday by bringing Havertz up front.
Havertz is versatile, isn't he? Because
versatility and just
he can play. He played number 8, and then he finished the game playing up front.
Very well when he went up front. By the way, gives you a different
dimension.
Different dimension, and that gives you that little bit more of an aerial threat. It's the only reason that I can see that.
Where are you on Havertz? I've seen you kind of mention him a few times, Tippa.
Yeah.
And when you've mentioned him, you kind of be like,
you got to give him. You got to give him time.
Yeah.
Because it's only 5 games in or whatever. But I just think to spend 65 million on somebody, and you've got like Smith, because even like watching Smith Rowe in the under-21s when they won that tournament, Rob, he was different. He was levels in that tournament. Yeah. So I would have thought him coming back to the manager would have seen that and thought, you know what, I need to give this youth the chance in the team.
There's lots of games left, Tipper, for the season. He'll get
very
games.
so.
And you saw last night he came on and he did really well. And I think in Smith Rowe's case, it's a place of playing yourself into first team action.
What do you think Havertz brings to this Arsenal team?
I think at the moment, versatility.
Okay.
Is what I see, right? Is that, as I said, like last night, you can take off players, like you can take Jesus off, keep Eddie on the bench and say chill, and then you can say to Havertz, right, go up front, we're winning.
Yeah,
hold the ball up, look after the ball, let's see this game out. He can play in the number 8. He can also play on the right hand side as well. I think he's in this team for his versatility.
Okay.
But like you said, it's still very early, but I think he does need to start now adding goals.
Yeah.
He's going to have to add goals to his games. I want to see him be a bit more ruthless. I still see a player, for me, even watching him yesterday, and he had a much better game, but I still see a player that's not, for me, ruthless enough. I want to see him be a bit more ruthless in his play. You know, he's still a bit too nice and tidy, safe.
I think that's a great point, Robbie.
Yeah, it's all safe at the moment.
Yeah, it was safe.
And I'm like, right, cool. But what I need from you for £65 million, I need to see you now being a bit more braver in your play. Maybe that might be because the prime example was Fabio Vieira. He was all safe.
Yeah.
Or he was doing the tricks in the wrong positions and things like that. Now, all of a sudden, you see a guy, even when he come on last night, you look at the confidence of that guy now.
She's
a little cut back in the box and all that.
Different.
He's confident now. He's confident in his play. He's also physically got a bit, more about him than he had last season.
I
want to see that from Havertz, but I do look on it with Havertz and think, it's the versatility where you can put this guy in multiple positions.
Yeah, I just think because he's not really the quickest, is he?
That's his downfall.
No, but did you see yesterday when he had that break?
Yeah,
he is quite quick.
Yeah, but he gives that demeanour that he's not. I know what you're saying.
But did you see last night? He had that break.
Great.
I think that's the one that led to that was sort of in the build up to the goal, wasn't it?
Okay.
Great pace he showed. Breakaway. But then he didn't keep going.
No, he stopped. He kept the ball
and played it safe. That's what I'm saying.
Saying you need to go for it.
Why not keep going? Mind you, in the end, I'm almost certain that then led to the build up to the goal. Yeah. But I want to see him say, right, I'm taking that on all the way. Like Martinelli now, in that position, he's gone, man.
He's gone. Yeah.
I think there's
he ain't cutting back to find no one. He's gone.
I think there's a little bit of. I know it sounds silly, like 65 million. He's won he's won the Champions League. I do think there is a little bit of a confidence thing with him as well.
It looks that way, and maybe because a lot of people are talking and saying, you're not really delivering. Yeah. So he's human. It's going to play on you a little bit.
It'd be really interesting to have a conversation with Vieira, because he must have felt that last season, like people were doubting him or whatever, you know what I mean? And now look at him, when he come on, everybody was delighted when he come on yesterday. And what I like about this Arsenal team is that they can play in different positions. He played wide right yesterday, and he looked like, I tell you what, he could. If Saka can be rested, he can slot in there now and do that job, and do it well. And because I think and I know it sounds silly, he got a penalty in that goal against Fulham, but I think from that, his confidence has grown. And once you look at him now when he's playing,
what I think his confidence took off, right, when he scored that penalty
in the FA Cup, in the Charity Shield.
The way he buried it. Yeah, and then after that, he's like, his just confidence has gone up because that was a moment for him.
Doesn't it?
So maybe that's what Havertz needs. But listen, we're going to be talking about the North London derby because that is a big one coming up this weekend. We're about to talk about that, but before we get into that, we got to talk about this book.
Yes.
Stick to My Roots, the autobiography of Tippa Irie, right? Tippa, who I've known for many years from back in the day when I used to be heavily involved in the reggae industry, right? This guy was always, one of the number one artists, has had number one hits. And you've been nominated for a Grammy, haven't you?
Yeah, with the Black Eyed Peas. I did a tune called Hey Mama.
Hey Mama, yeah.
And that got nominated for the Grammy. So I was sitting next to Beyonce and her mates.
Tough life, isn't it?
Tough life, you know what I mean? And
is she nice?
Yeah, that was in 20.
Hold on, wait. Is she nice?
Yeah. You can't just leave it like that.
She's very nice, Rob. Very, very, very nice woman. But she's married.
True.
But yeah, I think that was 2004. I got nominated for a Grammy with the Black Eyed Peas. But I'm excited about the book, Rob. You know?
Tell us about the book, man.
Well,
Because
the book
I obviously I've known you for many years, right?
Yeah.
I know that as well as the big ups.
Yeah.
You know, I know about the downs, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was reading the stuff. Just brought it all back to me about your sister.
Yeah.
You know, and the tragedy around that. And I was like, oh my God, how many years now?
Yeah, it's been over 20 odd years since she passed. But the book just basically covers my life. You know what I mean? The ups and the downs, like you say, the traumas and my career, my music career. But it tells the story of my mum and my dad, you know, growing up in Jamaica and then leaving from Jamaica, part of the Windrush generation, and coming over to the United Kingdom and making a life over here. So my dad was a greengrocer, you know, as you might remember, and he used to keep his little house parties, little blues dances, we used to call them back in the day. And basically he was, you know, so he was hustler, Flatfoot. I got a tune out right now called Flatfoot Hustle. So my dad was a little hustler, so he was a greengrocer, but on the weekends, Friday and Saturday, in the basement of our house, he would have his little house parties. So the book just talks about my family, growing up in South London, Brixton, speaks about the Brixton riots, speaks about how it was for us growing up in the community in South London, basically. And then it goes on to becoming an MC, you know what I mean, a master of ceremony like yourself back in the day. So it talks about that and who inspired me, people like you, Roy, Big Youth, Trinity, Dillinger, all these guys. And then later on it was like Brigadier Jerry, Charlie Chaplin, Josie Wells, Papa San, Lieutenant Stitchy, Professor Nuts, all these, you know, reggae artists from Jamaica. And then from there it goes into Hello Darling, which is talking about my hit tune, which kind of like changed my life financially, you know what I mean? And then just takes people on a journey, but it doesn't just talk about me. I've got Ali Campbell from UB40, because I toured with Ali a lot. So he's in the book. I've got Maxi Priest in the book. I've got Janet Kay in the book, Jumping Jack Frost, who's from the jungle scene, in the book. And they all speak about their relationship with me, being on the road and stuff like that. And then it also, every kind of chapter, I if I speak about a particular incident, then I would have a song. There'd be a snippet from one of my songs to, you know, to make relevant to that part of the story. So it's an interesting book. It still talks about Enoch Powell, the New Cross fire, Mongrels 11 in Ladbroke Grove. So it's got Margaret Thatcher. It still talks about the history of us growing up, Rob, in our communities in South London and Luton, you know, Handsworth, in Moss Side, you know, so it covers everything. And then it speaks about you know, transition from being in my dad's basement to going on top of the pops, you know what I'm saying? And then it transitions into Lovers Rock, which is like, I've did so much tunes with Lovers Rock artists like Peter Huntingale, Lloyd Brown, Janet Lee Davis, Barry Boom, all these different Lovers Rock artists, because that's like a big part of the reggae scene. So there's a chapter about Lovers Rock, and then there's a chapter about jungle, you know what I mean, and my relationship with the Ragga Twins and people like that, and Congo Natty and all these guys are in the book. And then the conclusion, and then becoming an entrepreneur, self-employed like yourself, similar kind of thing. So, you know, it covers a wide range of everything.
How have you managed to
keep going,
stay in this industry, which is not an easy industry to be in, because you've got to stay relevant, and the amount of changes that have happened in this industry. I mean, when you first started out in the industry, it was vinyl, right? And now then it went to CD.
Well, it was cassettes.
Actually, the first time I heard stuff from you was on a cassette, and I was like, this guy's bad, man. You know what I mean? And you've vinyl. Cassette, vinyl, CD,
and now streaming.
Streaming. So many changes in this industry. How have you managed to still be relevant. You still tour. Every time I speak to you, you're in some other country. There's always another tone on your phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh yeah, boy, I'm in Australia. Oh Robbie. No, I mean at the moment I'm in New York. Oh Robbie, I'm in LA. I mean you're always touring. How have you done it?
You just got to believe. First of all, you got to believe in yourself, Rob, because you know where you're coming from. Me and Lee was talking about it before we got on. There's a lot of haters out there, and there's a lot of people that write you off. Before they think, oh, you'll never get another hit tune, or you'll never. So these people, they inspire me. You know what I mean? When they come with their negativity, they just give me that energy to say, you know what? I'm gonna prove to you. Not even that I'm proving it to them because I don't need to, but I'm just gonna. It just inspires me to push myself. So from back in the day, you know what I mean? I've just always had that vision, or that tunnel vision, that you treat people how you want to be treated yourself. So if you live good and you try to be fair, honest, humble, be on time, punctual, just keep yourself on a level, and then you find that good things happen. And sometimes you go out there and you throw a stone and you don't know what's gonna hit. But then something good happens. It's just like when I did the tune with the Black Eyed Peas. I was on tour in LA, and I was staying on my friend's couch, and he said, Tip, come and stay with me. And I was there doing I think it was about 7-day tour. So I was playing in San Diego, LA, Santa Monica, was just going up the West Coast. And I got a call from this guy, and he was like a DJ, and he said to me, Tip, I want you to come and do this tune for me. So I said, all right then, let me go and have a look. So I went to his studio, and it so happens he was in the same building as will.i.am from the Black Eyed Peas. So when I was in the booth now voicing this tune, will.i.am just walked by the studio, and he went, who the hell is this guy? You know what I mean? So the guy goes, oh, it's Tippa Irie from England. So he goes, oh, one day I'm gonna have something for you. So I just stayed out there, and I was doing this show in this place called the Belly Up in San Diego, and I got a call. So the girl goes, Shelly goes, Tip, will.i.am has got something for you. But at that time, Lee, they weren't big. Do you know what I mean? They weren't huge then. They didn't have Where Is the Love and all these tunes that were really huge. So I just said, okay. So I went down there, and they played me the tune, cutie cutie, make sure, hey mama, and I thought, okay. So I said, let me take it with me. So I took it back to where I was staying. I was sleeping on my friend's couch, just staying there, and I wrote the lyrics, you know what I mean? Went back, and he goes, that was it. So I just voiced it, and I just forgot about it because they weren't big. So he said, look, I'm gonna pay you X amount of money, and I'm gonna give you X amount of publishing. So I'm like, okay, you know what I mean, that'll do. And I just left it, Lee. And then I was at home in Streatham, and then I turned on, there was MTV was popular then, you know what I mean? And I saw Where Is the Love? So I thought, oh, looks like these guys are gonna blow up. And the next thing I knew, Where Is the Love was #1. So then I heard, then they come with this tune called Shut Up, Shut Up, Shut Up, that tune there. And then I thought to myself, you know
that
what?
was big as well.
That was huge. And then I thought, you know what? Hey, mama, that must be the next single. And lo and behold, it was. And then the next thing you know, Mr. Henry, well, my bank manager was my friend again. He was my friend again. He was like, Mr. Henry, they're like, Tip, we want you to come to Hollywood. I'm like, okay, I think I could do that. You know what I mean? And then, next thing you know, I'm there doing a video, and next thing you know, I'm on tour. So, and that show that I did, Lee, $7 it was to get in, and I was sleeping on my friend's couch at the time because he said, because on the, you're going on your
low
own,
budget,
low budget thing. Yeah. So I thought, it's those things where you what makes you realize that, look, you just got to go for it. You got to push yourself. And I've just steadily kept doing that throughout my career. And luckily, I'm still here. I'm still busy.
What I want to know,
Fantastic story, isn't it?
Great story. But what I want to know is where you got this picture of me in your book. Yeah, because my kids got hold of this picture, right? I don't know if the guys can see it, right?
Yeah.
My kids got hold of this picture and they've been absolutely ripping me. Look at that picture.
Look at that picture. Look at that of Robbie there. Look, there he is.
Oh my God.
But you know where we were? We was in Finland, mate. We
was in Finland?
Yeah, we was in Finland. It was on tour.
We both young there, though, aren't you?
Yeah. We was on tour
Wow.
in Finland doing, I think we was doing like a little Scandinavian tour.
Yeah.
And we ended up in Finland. And me and Robbie, you know, because he was top drawer, you
Well,
know.
we weren't bad. I've seen some clips.
No,
like,
he
I
was
mean,
top-
Not on his level, nowhere near his level. But, you know,
Well,
But he was a good MC, and so we was on tour in Finland, you know, and I saw that picture and I thought this picture is going in the book, but I did tell him I was going to put it in there. I just put it in there.
when I saw it, I was like, where you get that from? No, listen, man. And how's the book going? How's it doing?
Look, it's going great, man. It's been number one on a couple of the Amazon charts, and I've been selling it directly. And you know, everywhere I go, people are asking me about it. So I'm really excited. So it's doing well on Amazon. The publishers are called Jackawanda. And people can go to their website and check it out also, or they could just go to tippairie.com. Really, it's pretty simple. If they go to my website, the book will come up, they can click and it will take them to Amazon.
No, this is brilliant, man.
How long
This
did it
is-
take you to do the book?
It took me 2 years.
2 years.
But you know when I did it, Rob, in a lockdown, because I knew that everybody that I wanted in it wouldn't be working. So I thought, do you know what I'm saying? So all the, you know, because you're not going to get Ali Campbell now, or you're not going to get Maxi Priest or Janet Kay, because they're going to be on the road. So when people were bugging me and say, yo, Tit, you need to write the book now, you know, it's 4 decades. I'm 58 now, Lee, getting on. You know what I mean? But it's 40 years of, you know, of history and music and life and experiences. But people were bugging me, so I said, you know what? The lockdown is the perfect time to write it, because everybody that I want in the book is not going to be working, so I can track them down. So we managed to get the interviews done within the lockdown. We managed, and I set up an agency as well, which is like a dub plate agency for sound systems and stuff. So I did that in the lockdown to make money, and then I wrote the book.
Wow. Listen, you've got to, now you got to promise me this, right?
Yes, sir.
If Arsenal win the league, because you already did a tune for Arsenal when they got to the FA Cup, right?
Yes.
If Arsenal win the league, you've got to do a tune.
Definitely, and I'll come back and I'll sing it live on AFTV.
There you go. You've got
Can
to
I
do
be in
that.
the backing?
You can, sir. You
No,
can, sir.
don't ruin it.
I don't want a singing part. I just
Don't
want to be in
ruin the
backing.
tune. What were you going to do in it?
I'll be on the tambourine or something.
Tambourine.
We going to church?
Yeah, we'll put this way. We won't get him to dance. I've seen his dancing skills.
There
We
you
won't
go.
get Robbie to dance. I've seen his dancing skills.
Anyway, listen, there's a small matter of the North London derby, guys, this weekend, right?
Whoa.
Huge game. Both teams go into the game unbeaten. And if you speak to a lot of Spurs fans, they're really confident going into this game. Maybe they're not as confident after seeing
Last night,
but they are. They've been going into a lot of confidence. They've started the season well. They've got Ange Postecoglou in charge now. They've changed the style of football. How are you both feeling about this game coming up on the weekend? Because it's been a fortress for Arsenal in the North London derby.
Last game, Lee. Who did they play last?
Sheffield United.
Sheffield United. They didn't look that great, did they? Against Sheffield United.
They did pepper him. I mean, it was one of those things.
They scored in the last minute.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, I'm confident. I think that if he picks the team, the players that we expect him to play, I think we'll do them. I think we'll beat them, and I think we'll beat. Is it at Emirates?
At
or
the Emirates.
It's at the Emirates.
I think we'll beat them comfortably. It won't be a walk in the park, but I think maybe a 2-1, 3-1. I think we'll beat them.
That's what we normally beat them over the last couple of years, 3-1.
Listen, I think that, you know, I had my brother.
Son said, by the way, did you see the other day, Son, he said Arsenal won't want to be playing won't be looking forward to playing Tottenham at this time.
Yeah, they won't want to be playing us at any time. That's the difference. You know what I mean? Like they're in a little bit of form at the moment, but they won't want to play Arsenal. So I get what they're saying. Like I've had my brother over last week. And he's a Spurs fan.
Okay.
And I'm looking. All of a sudden they're looking forward. They, where it's worried about their game, they're looking forward to it. And he was quite confident, saying, "I think we could nick a point." I see, Abby saying that we won't lose at the Emirates.
No, she said she implied that we were going to win, and then when I pushed her on it, she was like, "Well, we won't lose.
We won't lose." And that's what they're sort of thinking at the moment.
Well, I always rely on them to Spurs it, mate. They do this
all the time. They do this all the time. They think they come here and win. I never go to White Hart Lane thinking we're going to win. Even last season, I thought, keep me powder dry. You know what I mean? Hope that we win. But always with Spurs, we get a point at the Emirates. I never go. It's and they never learn. There is a time when they will get a result against us because it's law.
It might be this time, but I doubt it.
But they've done okay. This season they've done okay. I don't see them at the moment calling out for Levy and all that. I suppose if they lose to us on Sunday, they might well start blaming Levy for it. But they're very, very happy at the moment. What they've done. And what Levy's done, which I'll give him his dues for, they've got a manager in there now that wants to be there. Like the other two didn't really want that. The other two were doing Spurs a favour, which is a joke. This one, they've got someone who wants to believe and all that, so they can get around that and all that. And I'll give them their due on that. But if Arsenal turn up and play to their ability and play to I feel it will be a nice afternoon for us. They may make it awkward for us at times, but if we play like we did on Wednesday night, I think we'll be fine.
The thing is about it, right, is that I understand why Tottenham fans they're coming into it confident, right?
Totally, I get that.
They're unbeaten, right? But they were unbeaten last year when they come to play us.
Yeah.
And if you remember last season, right, when they come to play us, they're all bigging up Conte as well.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was after we beat them and then several things down the line that they started to moan about Conte and that. But at that time, they were all bigging up Conte and they were saying this and that, and we're in the Champions League, and they came into that game unbeaten. Right? And we took them apart. And then I look at them at the moment and I'm like, I get why there's a bit of confidence. Basuma is playing a lot better. You know what I mean? He's getting the best out of Basuma.
I was just thinking about him.
Yeah, he's looked really good. Basuma and Sarr in the midfield.
They got Song, obviously.
Son, Madison's come in. He's hit the ground running. He's been playing really, really well for them, right?
As Richarlison, is he scored yet?
Richarlison, he scored last week for them. You know what I mean? In that comeback against Sheffield United, and they're all getting really excited. But it's two things I looked at, right? So first of all, I'm like, well, hold on. I'm looking at the teams you've played so far. I would expect you
to beat them,
to win those games. The hardest game for them in those games they played was Man United. At home, remember, they played United. Because they've had a poor record against United at home, and they beat United 2-0. Even in that game, I thought at the start of that game, United were all over them. And if United would have took their chances, that might have been a different game. But they did. That was a good win against United. They've beaten Burnley, is it?
But beat
Burnley
them well.
away, beat them very well. Put 5 past
Bournemouth
them.
as well, they beat well.
Beat Bournemouth. But would you not expect them to win those 2 games?
I would. I'd expect Arsenal to win those games, but I don't. To beat them 5-1,
5-2,
5-2, and 3-1 was it, or 3?
Yeah,
you have to say that you got to give them credit for that.
Yeah, no, I give them credit, but I'd expect them to win those games. They drew with Brentford. Away, yeah? Decent result.
And they just got by Sheffield United.
And they've just got by Sheffield United. Now, out of those games, apart from the United one where they've had the poor, I expect them to win those games.
Very true.
They're playing better football and they're unbeaten. But I think they're discounting Arsenal. Because Arsenal are also unbeaten.
Yeah.
People forget we've not lost a game this season.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
Man City in the Community Shield, drew with them, beat them on penalties, right? Then the only game we slipped up in this season was the Fulham game.
Yeah.
All right, maybe we haven't been at our fluent best in the earlier games, but the last couple of games, You know what I mean? The Everton game, complete control of that game and won that comfortably. It's a comfortable 1-0.
Yeah.
4-0 the other night
I think
against
we needed
PSV.
That. We needed that against PSV to just
Yeah,
have that
and I
confidence going in there.
think Tottenham, it's going to be really interesting to see what they do. There's been a lot of talk about Ange Ball and things like that. Are they going to come after that PSV game and come and attack Arsenal? Come on the front foot and have a go? Right?
Because he said he's going to do that, wherever he goes.
Is that what he said?
That's what he said, but that's what he said.
Well.
And you know, it's funny, I was talking to a PSV fan after the game, and he was saying that they've won their first 4 games leading up to that Arsenal game.
Yeah.
And he goes, their new coach, because remember they had Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Yeah.
He said the new coach has all been about attack.
Yeah.
And he goes, they've just swept away teams. And he goes, maybe we shouldn't have attacked Arsenal.
No.
So is Ange Postecoglou going to come and be right on the front foot against Arsenal? I'm going to be really interested to see that, because I think if he is, I can see us winning this game. I can see us scoring goals because, and like you said, that win that we've had, that's a very good win. Scoring goals. The last 2 games at the Emirates, we scored 7 goals.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, Manchester United.
What do you think? Do you think that how do you think it will turn out, and how do you see it panning out?
Do you know what? I thought it was going to be really tight, but I feel on Wednesday, my confidence has gone up.
It's a turning point in that game.
Yeah.
But even if you...
The 4-0 is the turning point.
Even if you think about it, Lee, as I said, our last 2 games at the Emirates, we scored 7 goals.
Yeah.
Scored 3 against United as well.
I think it's a difficult... I don't think people appreciate how difficult it is coming to the Emirates now. The atmosphere, the way
it's going to be buzzing on the weekend.
The place is buzzing at the moment. Wherever you go, to walk out after that Man United game was unbelievable. Walk back in there, there's an excitement about going to the Emirates now. And do you know what? I honestly think that if I on Sunday and at 1 o'clock and Jesus is in that team, I will be confident, because I just think he is the difference. He's the difference. Look at how well we play when he's in the side, and I don't think that they've got defenders that can cope with that. I see defenders yesterday. But PSV, who I thought he looks good, powerful. In the end. They were ragged. They were run ragged. Exactly that. They were. I don't have this every week. Yeah. And I just think that if he plays, I think our front 4 will be too strong.
I think it's going to be a big test, man. For they got new guys, Van der Ven,
the goalkeeper. I think it'd be a big test for their goalkeeper.
I honestly feel maybe they might be changing their tune a little bit, Tottenham fans, but they've been really underestimating Arsenal. And as I said, they've been like, you lot have not played, but we're unbeaten as well. And actually, our record in the Premier League is identical to yours in that we've drawn one game, we won all the rest.
Yeah.
And in that, right, we've had a couple of tricky. I'd class us going away to Everton. It's a very difficult game when you look at our record there, and we were very comfortable in that game. Going away to Palace is not easy for Arsenal ever. Right, so I'm feeling confident ahead of this game. I really am. I'm
feeling confident. I'm not worried at all, Lee. And what's the worst that could happen? I don't know. We lose.
That is the worst. That is the worst. That's the absolute worst.
Nervous because I live in a Spurs area, aren't we?
Wow.
So I'm always
and your brother's Spurs.
Yeah, half my family Spurs. So it's a nervy game.
It's a nerve-wracking game.
I actually don't like these games. I don't like them. You know what I mean? I actually worry about. Do you know what's the greatest thing about it is that we've had this big game in Wednesday, so I haven't had to be worried since Sunday. Normally I start getting a bit nervous and all that. But when the game's finished and we've won it, it's the best feeling.
Do you remember I brought that point up last week, Lee? I said that after every one of our Champions League group stage games, our next game's a home game. And I really think yesterday now it's really played into our hands because we've just put in a brilliant performance in the Champions League. Yeah. Every one of those players are confident. And now they're like, right, Sunday, bring it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, I think that's better. And I remember a Man City fan saying this to me last year when I was saying, oh, well, we got a week off. He's going, yeah, sometimes you're better off having that game during the week. You do well in that game, then you're buzzing into that next game on the weekend. And none of the games we got coming up after Champions League games are away. They're always at the Emirates, home. And I think, you know,
that will
this
stand us in good stead.
Yeah, those players from last night and every fan cannot wait till Sunday.
I'll tell you a little story, and it's a story that I always go back to. Is semi-final Wembley 1991. I went to Wembley thinking we're at the final. We're going to do it with a much better team than Spurs, and I learnt my lesson.
Yeah,
I got, you know, like we got done. So I'm always got that little bit of. You know what I mean? I'm always a little bit worried about it, like we're, you know, I learnt my lesson. Spurs fans have been getting smashed for about 20 years afterwards, and they've still not learnt their lesson. Like, do you know what I mean? So I'm always a little bit cautious, a little bit worried about it because. And then I'm never going there going, right, yeah, we're definitely going to win this game. I've always keeping emotions level on this game. Because, you know, even with the Man United game, when at that Man United game the other week, I knew if we played to our ability, that we'd beat them, but it took a long. It was, you know, millimetres. Yeah, it could have gone wrong for us.
But I think we've improved since that game, and I think the confidence has grown from that game, and I'm confident. I'm confident we're going to get a win.
Spurs fan, imagine, you know, Spurs did what Arsenal did. We wouldn't be able if we all of the success that Arsenal's had compared to Spurs, we wouldn't be able to walk on the street.
Listen, my brother emigrated, like, you know what I mean. So, like, and I would have done exactly the same. Like, I'd have been good day now. Good day, I'm gone.
That's what I'm saying. You know, and the thing is, Rob, is like the way how they behave when, you know, even if they just finished above us and they ain't won anything. You know, imagine if they did do what Wenger done and achieved all the Wenger. Could you imagine?
Do you imagine what it must have been like for a Spurs fan, like, you know, in the Invincible season, like, you know what I mean, like every game not losing, like, you know what I mean, they're going to lose one in a minute, and then they never did, like, you know what I mean, and they've had to put up with that, like, you know, and still give it to us.
Still. So that's what I'm saying. Do you imagine if the tables were turned and they were Invincibles and they won the league and the doubles with what Wenger won and
won 2 titles at their ground. They've only won 2 titles in our own history. We've won 2 titles at their ground. It's unreal, really, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? But you can't live without them.
No. I want to ask you guys. We're running out of time now, so I want to ask you guys this. Right, quick question for both of you: who starts in goal on Sunday, Ramsdale or Raya? Tippa.
Raya. Just because of how calming and settled the back four looks with him in the team.
Lee.
I'm with Tipper on this one.
Raya?
Yeah, you know, I've met Aaron Ramsdale. He's the most loveliest guy.
He's a nice guy.
Lovely guy. He's a top guy. You know,
and he's not let the team down.
He's never let Arsenal down. He's made some unbelievable saves, but I would be panicking if he plays on Sunday, just in case he made a mistake and all that. So for me, Raya now.
Yeah. Well,
what about you?
Before yesterday's game, I said Ramsdale. I said, like, Ramsdale in North London derbies, he's always up for it. He knows what it's about. He's got that little... He's even got a little wind-up side to him and all that, right? But after watching the game yesterday, I'm like, if a goalkeeper's come in, he's played 2 games, he's kept 2 clean sheets, he's been so comfortable. I know the other teams haven't really offered much, and Spurs will offer more. You can't take him out, can you? No, you can't take him out. He's got to play in that next game.
No, I honestly thought
you may as well just keep that together because it's like he's not conceded a goal, so you don't want to change that vibe.
I was watching Thierry Henry on another station, and he said the same thing. You know, he said
can't change it.
You can't change it.
Yeah,
and what he was saying is that, you know, no matter what we might think of Arteta, it might be a bit, I don't know, cruel or a bit, you know, maybe not loyal, but his job is to
win games, and I
games.
just don't think you can take him out in this game. All right, here's another one for you guys. Havertz or Fabio Vieira, or even Smith Rowe. Who gets that number 8 position for you?
Me personally, it would be Vieira or Smith Rowe over Havertz.
Okay.
Personally.
Lee?
Vieira. I think Vieira was outstanding. I would have played. So this is where it's funny, you know, and you have to give Arteta his credit. I would have played Havertz against Everton because it was more of a physical game and all that. But he played Vieira, and I thought he was brilliant in that game. And for me, we're at home. We need to have that little bit of creativity. For me, Vieira. But you know, that's where it'd be harsh for me if Ramsdale's left out and he plays Havertz on Sunday, because it doesn't seem that fair. But you know,
do you think it's because he spent that money on him?
I've always said, me and Robbie have this argument all the time.
Do you think it's because he spent 65 million on him that he needs to be in the team?
Yeah. It could be. Yeah,
I do think there's a little bit.
I think a bit of that, because
I think if he'd have spent 75 million or 72 million on Pepe wouldn't have won the treatment that he got. That's my personal opinion. Like, because he wasn't his player, he felt that he could do that a little bit more.
Yeah.
But this is his player. This is the money that he spent. So he'd get a little bit more
of a chance
than
because I think Pepe was treated unfairly myself.
Although you say that like it's favouritism or something, but he also bought in Ramsdale.
Yeah.
And now Ramsdale's not in the team because of the Ferreira. So Arteta is proving ruthless in all aspects. But I'm really, really interested. I can't wait for the game. Quick predictions, guys. Tippa?
2-1 Arsenal.
3-1.
I'm going 3-1 as well. 3-1 to Arsenal as well. We've come to the end of the show today. Do not forget to get yourself this book. Tippa, where can they get it from?
Amazon, tippairie.com. Click on the link and it will take you to Amazon. Jackawanda Publishing. You know, you can get it directly from their website. So it's out there. If you just friendly Google, Tippa Irie, Stick to My Roots, and you're in.
And that was a tune, isn't it? You just Stick to My Roots.
It was a title of tracks of one of my albums.
Yeah. Brilliant book, guys. Get a copy of this, a real history lesson as well. It's a fantastic book. And also I want to say big shout out going out to NordVPN. Don't forget, if you want to get the VPN, click the link in the description for that deal. It's nordvpn.com/AFTV. Do that right now and you can get yourself the big deal that we're running courtesy of this show. I want to thank Tippa. Thank you very much for coming in.
Brother.
Remember, hopefully we see you at the end of the season and you're making that tune.
Yes, hopefully we win.
You know, we can be in the video, me and Lee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Lee with his tambourine, you know what I mean? So,
and you'll be showing us your dance moves, bro.
Oh, God. Yeah. And Lee, thanks very much as well. Of course, we'll be there Sunday for the North London Derby. Do not forget to check out all of our videos. We've got a super fan debate coming up with Tottenham fans here in the studio. That's going to be live. We've also got all our previews building up to the big game on Sunday. And then on Sunday, of course, the predicted 11s, watch along. And also, we'll be speaking to fans outside the game. Hopefully, a big win for Arsenal in the North London Derby. And we keep this great form going. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you next week. Don't forget to subscribe. The Invincible podcast. Myself, Robbie, and Lee Judges come together once a week to discuss all things Arsenal. Straight talking, considered discussion, brought to you by the fans of the only club in Football League history to go invincible.